Hello, I am Hat, and you have come to my stream. And hopefully that's a good thing. Last time, let me just put on my little screen here. Last time when I streamed, I had sort of begun the construction of an extended prong on the Kanite class. And admittedly, since then I've moved a bit on here because now it's a question of, you might ask, what do we do with this space? Well, not in this space in particular, because I've actually already done quite a lot with this. So this was around, I took this screenshot as sort of like the end of the stream last time, and it was around this. But what do I have now instead is this. Ta-da! Yeah. I actually think it's really cool. I sort of did a multitude of things with the workshop floor, just to bring this thing up again. This thing, you see how originally it was divided into sort of 2 floors and some other configuration? I decided to make this one elongated thing that was surrounded by a catwalk, mostly for aesthetic reasons, but there was some functional aspect to it, which is the table are arranged in a way I would imagine or think that would be useful in a workshop. And that might be completely wrong, but in addition, I've put in lots of decals to sort of account for these blast doors that are in the side of the hull. And I've since also done this whole pathing thing with this, which I think is really cool, personally. Let me just see now. Yep, there we go. Just messing with some settings for this whole stream thing. There we go. Yo, yeah, I did a pathing thing with decals. Also with the placement of the disposal unit, which has a slightly different color, which is intentional. The rest. The storage area, usually for either ammunition or some other form of supplies, next to one of the turrets there, is currently being taken up by a table and 2 foldable chairs and some donuts, because, I mean, as far as they're concerned, this is a ship workshop. This is a break valuable things apart or build something kind of workshop. In the spirit of this fantastic setup, I've made an ashtray, but you won't immediately notice it. There's an ashtray here, and then just a lot of ash and cigarette butts and some fresh cigarettes and a lighter, because, this is a workshop, a proper workshop. In proper workshops, you smoke a lot, especially next to oil. Especially next to oil. Yes. Let me just make sure I close this thing again. But yeah, no, since then I have been examining this space, sort of as the general idea being that to use it as a kind of workshop. For either building small ships or building ships within the prongs of this thing. which is why I made a sort of command area. This is actually something I copied from a different map, but that I really like. This idea that no, of course you can build if you build responsibly, you know, with command's permission. I mean, or you could just hack the door open. I'm not encouraging, but in any case, it's a storage area for a multitude of things, from thrusters to shuttle console, wall mount, APU, which is a power unit, auxiliary power unit, I believe it's called. There's also a generator. In addition to that, mini gravity generator, substation, door electronics and stuff like that, and also a Pac-Man generator. So all of this, including the Pac-Man generator, would in some sense be useful if, say, you're building a ship and need to temporarily power it, or need to install some important components as far as ship is concerned. Yeah. Let's see now. So yeah, that's where we are right now with the Kanite. I've also included in this whole thing, I've included electronic supplies, so that there's some wires, though I don't think it would be enough wires to, say, build a full ship, unless you're really clever. There's a lot of water and fuel. I think it's because in the end I'm trying to save space, because there's, like, you would, for you to reasonably do everything you'd need to do, you need a lot of water and a lot of fuel. So I added for the space compressed variant. That could be a horrible choice. Who knows? I've also already done all the wiring, so that you can maybe see it. I run green wires sort of around this out. It's because in an industrial sense and maintenance sense, if, say, you need to fix something or install something new, it makes sense to have, in a workshop kind of way, all the things exposed that you may constantly need to upgrade or mess with. It's the same thing for why you can see some of the atmospherics wires or pipes that go along with this. And I've installed those. I haven't colored them yet, mostly because I don't recall the command. There's a command. For coloring these pipes. I've already sort of connected them up. I've pulled them all the way back here. One of the air pipe goes in here and connects up with the T-junction here to the original power air supply. The scrubber kind of sort of just does the same thing, but further down. It's like walking out a door. It's like, as soon as you can come out of this door, what's the quickest route to get to the pipe you need? Right over here. That's kind of the logic I follow, at least in this case. Because I try. I mean, it's not always possible, but this is, by the way, just because I've started mapping, I shouldn't start talking as though I speak for any kind of mapping standards. when it comes to this stuff. But I will dare to claim that anyone who is decent is decent at mapping and sort of mostly knows what they're doing. They will do this sort of thing where they will run wires and pipes in a way where they are accessible. They will at all times really do their best to run things, first of all in maintenance tunnels as much as possible, but also try to avoid going under walls and such. And I know myself that I sometimes violate this, like right here. I violate this right here. That's because I basically panicked. I didn't know what else to do. I suppose what I could have done is go in here, travel up, and then in. But at that point, I just felt it was getting silly. I just thought, why not just quickly duck under this wall and sort of make this happen? I might undo this at one point, but I don't know. Oh yeah, but anyway, I try to run my pipes in a way that always is as exposed as they can be. That's also why they are here. I mean, again, with this thing, I could have just gone all the way around and down, but I had to make a choice, because if I do that, I did consider it and thought it was valid in a way. But if I do, I will now be closer to space, and that makes the how can we put it, the safety of the pipe lower. You're more likely to get a breach in this pipe if it's closer to the edge, whereas if it has several tiles of stuff to go through, there's a higher chance that even if this area is breached in some way, that the pipe's integrity will remain. And I do think in these terms. And I won't even be sarcastic about it, because I enjoy it. I enjoy thinking about things like that. I'm not gonna make one of those silly remarks where, no, you would hate being me. I have this incredible ability. No. Anyway, I've made these work tables where I've left resources or materials and a good old space lizard plushie, because he is there to be your space mascot for sure. Ooh, I will just see if I can fish some viewers from the Ox. They might be interested, you know, to see how mapping goes on. In addition to that, I'm not quite sure yet, but one of the things I saw on another map was that in this construction area for shuttles, they had atmospheric alerts computer, and I'm not quite sure why, but until I understand the logic, or at least understand more about it, I just put it in along with the atmospheric network monitor. I figured it would be okay if you're building a shuttle and you can in some sense see an analysis of an object's atmospheric network, if it has one. Maybe I just don't understand how that works. That's how I saw it. In addition to this, it also has a mass scanner computer, so when you are standing here, you can see what's coming in. Now, one of the things that I'm currently considering is whether I in some way need to fit in the salvage magnet. Because I don't know where else to put that thing. So when I say what to do with this prong, I don't mean this thing. I actually mean this, because this is empty. I've expanded the prong, and quite likely will have to adjust its shape to match the other one over here. The question is just like, what do I do with it? I guess, is there more I want to say about this? Not really. Is it worth mentioning that I've now made a work signal button? I guess I could rename it. Let's say this, in case you're watching, at some point, this is how you change the name of a button. You just go find it here under the server variables and say, light switch, docking lights. I suppose if we wanted to, we could yeah, see, this toggles the very bright, very annoyingly bright docking lights. Remember your sunglasses. There. Remember your sunglasses and to strike a cool pose. Yeah, and that's indeed how it must be. Let me read the description. This toggles the very annoyingly bright docking lights. Remember your sunglasses and to strike a cool pose. Yep. I make weird shit like that. Because reasons. Do I need to? I need to name this something. Do I have an additional APC that goes? No. What would this place be called? How do I name the other ones? Okay, so I name it for the area and then APC. Ship maintenance workshop. Is that what it should be called? Jesus, what did I nearly swallow there? Should it be called a ship maintenance workshop, or is it Ship salvage workshop. Yeah. That looks alright, I think. We have that sorted out. I made this thing that I thought that was cool, which is, I put in a yellow closet that sort of looks like it's an engineering closet, and then I actually put tools in there. You know how, like, in workshops they have tools in sort of cabinets or wall-mounted displays? And I thought this is about the closest thing you can get to that experience, because it actually, like, let's see here, it actually has all this stuff here. Everything from welding to engineering goggles to screwdriver, T-ray scanner, wire cutter, crowbar, the whole thing. Welding mask with the flaming one too. It's the cool one. So, and when you open this, all that comes out. Which I think is a cool way of holding tools. Now, should I add a tool belt? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should. Just one. I forgot that they stopped calling it tool belts. They started calling it something else. And it's very upsetting to me, because I always have trouble finding the belts. What's it called? Utility belt. Yeah. No, let's not call it a tool belt like we always have, that everybody calls it. Let's not do that. Let's call it a utility belt. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm fine. I am very, very fine. Everything is fine. I am not upset. Anyway. Okay, utility belt. I guess we could put it here. That way. Easy to grab if you really must. Yeah. So, now that this area is in existence, I will turn my attention to this guy over here, because now the question is, what do we do with this space? Okay. Do 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 do. Play it, Sam. You play that there guitar while we fly out here in space and do dumb shit like building spaceships for taking apart other spaceships. But the spaceship that finds other spaceships, you know what they do? They hire clowns. It's very strange, that's what that is. Okay. Do 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 do. Reinforced wall. Give me that there wall. do this? No. Reinforced wall. I might have issues on this wall because I'm suddenly noticing a pattern here that over here there's a bit of distance between each door that allows me to have these blast doors, and I'm suddenly realizing I'm not so sure that's taking place over here, to be honest. It doesn't seem to be a well, I could be wrong because now I have the long gaps here again. I could be just getting ahead of myself. This has happened before. Okay, I have to leave that like that for now. That's silly. I'll have to work that out, but I need the outer shape so that this can all be corrected. We gotta also keep the good old observation posts, which is like, I'm so sad in a way that nobody's ever utilized this room for its purpose yet. Just like whoever is the most useless guy in a roleplay situation, you put him out here and his job is to watch everything that manually comes in through this conveyor belt. So he just has to sit here far away from everybody else and just be like, if something comes through, he has to stop the conveyor belt. That's his job. He has to live out in this little box. I always thought that was great. It's like, oh god, just send Jeff to the observation post. We'll be rid of him for at least a week. Hey Jeff, boss wants you to go to the observation post. Okay. Anyway. That helps a lot on its shape. Hi, Haslin. Haslin is asking me, is the Kanite prongs wide enough to eat a Nuki infiltrator ship? You know, I don't know. But you know what we could do? We could find out. Let's do this. 101 maps, Kanite. And then what we could do, now that we've loaded it on this map, we could go up here, because I don't know what the shape of the infiltrator is, but let's assume it's not small enough to be able to be spawned here. So what we'll do, again, class, Those of you who are watching, there's 3 of you I see. One of them might be myself, but there's 2 of you. I have your names. You know, make sure you take notes because this is how you do it. Just kidding. All right. So what we will do is we will say load grid onto this map ID that we are in, and say we're gonna load a shuttle, and let's see which one do we have to load. We have to load what is it called? Infiltrator. There, that's the one. And then we give it an exposition. Exposition. V funny. V funny. Okay, so that might as well be 0. And the Y is 158. I think. Yeah. There we go. And then what we'll do, just to make this even easier on ourselves, is say map init 101. So what we'll now do, shuttle console. We'll try to reverse. There you go. It probably won't fit all the way into the lower section of the Kanite, but she'll fit. These people can very, very definitely like be surprised bored. They could be sitting there, maybe like having their daily nap or whatever, and we could sneak up on them. And sort of like dock to them like this. You know, we'll just we'll just sneak onto their ship like this. Like yum 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 yum. Just ready with a whole cargo crew. Or salvage crew, I should say. But yeah, no, this is very possible. And also that whole thing about choosing the doctor. I am planning to make a shuttle designed to fit into this space, which might make this whole thing that I just did here maybe not possible, but that could be a difference between whether you're coming in with your front first or your rear first. I think you might still be able to do it if you're facing the other way. But yeah. Actually, this is a good way of getting a sense on how wide this shuttle that I'm going to make is going to be, because it's roughly going to be this wide from here to here. That should give me plenty of space to work with, to fit all the way down. I might make it 1 more square wide, but 2 is 2 with 2 square to spare. Basically, that's not a bad because otherwise I'd only have half a square on each side to get in and out, and that might be a little difficult. But anyway, yeah. Now we know the answer to that experiment. And now, all I have to do is just take teleport 00 back to map 50. Now we're back to the map we're working on. In the meantime, I will continue to adjust this thing. It's mostly okay, but I still have to trim. I have to trim this to allow for more space. What is this side for? What does it do? What it do? What it do? What is this room for? I suppose what I could do is start deleting this wire, because I don't need it anymore. probably do in that case, I think, is simply connect this all the way, and then expand our maintenance zoo, because that's what this is, a maintenance zoo, in case you were unaware. Dr. Osophilia asks, is the entire prong cargo? More or less, I would say. Not exclusively, but more or less. The whole point of the ship is to be a salvage ship. That's the sort of main design theme, if you will, of this thing. So therefore, a lot of its function up front, to give it character, I would say, is salvage based. It's more salvage than it's more salvage than cargo, I would say. Since its design, I'm now going with making a lot of salvage public. So that it's going to be possible for people to basically wander in and do stuff. I haven't made this one public yet, but I might, just to because to encourage people to have more public salvage operation. There is something about the control room that you still can't access. You will be able to go up here and access this area now where all the stuff comes in, and also go all the way up here to the new workshop that I've designed as a matter of public access. But it is salvage, I should clarify. I was just trying to make the distinction between what you have access to versus what the area is designed for. And I should also clarify here, I'm not making excuses for it, but I'm saying you don't have to use any of this for cargo or salvage. You could use it for so many other things if you wanted. Right. So in any case, back to what I'm currently. So that's what the prongs are for. But on both sides, this whole experience, I think I've explained to people before, is to as closely mimic in Space Station 14 the experience of Hard Space Shipbreaker, where there are, you know how you can, in Hard Space Shipbreakers, there's two type of places roughly where you can throw things into. There's the bottom one too, but I can't obviously map that. But so there's the one side is for one type of object and the other side is for another type of object. This one over here, basically whatever it is, churns and turns it into raw material. So anything you fling in here gets eaten up and turned into raw material and gets transported into this little basket where you can retrieve it. This guy over here, just without processing, takes everything in. That's why the observationist post is here. So whoever you hate the most gets to have the job of sitting here, drinking beer and eating donuts, watching TV, and playing arcade games and watching all this raw stuff that comes unfiltered in. And then if there's something coming in that shouldn't, this guy can stop the whole conveyor belt. But stuff then goes into this basket here where you can then retrieve it. You know, so because the whole area is designed were to take something in here and then take it apart and strip it for valuable stuff and take it inside the ship and process it. So the whole ship is designed this way. Now, you might think to yourself, that's a lot of intricate design for a map that is eventually and very quickly going to be just destroyed. And you would be correct. But here comes the weird bit. I like that. I think it's fucking hilarious that there's this completely viable, functional ship that have all these neat ideas and functions and automations, all this stuff, and the first thing that happens is that a clown comes through, makes a fart noise, and explodes. It's just, mwah. I love it. But for now, I have this additional prong on this side where I don't know what to do with it yet. I'm actually willing, that's actually why I've been trying to advertise my stream a little bit with the auxiliary and also in the BPL and stuff like that, is to to put out the call to sort of like, I'm taking input on what this prong area should be for. It could be so many different things. It could be an extension of science. It could be a really poorly placed library, where the mail also comes in and something. It could be an extension of botany. It could be an additional bar. It could be, I don't know, yeah, 10 forward, an extra bar, yeah. It could be, yeah, that's the thing, I don't know. It could be a courtroom, maybe? But then that just seems weird. But again, that would be like the library, just a poorly placed library. Dr. Osofila says, it might make sense for it to be some kind of triage center for the eventual suffocations of people's scrapping between the prongs, as well as EVA and tools. The EVA and tools might be a worthy thing, possibly. That could be a thing. How dare you? Substation and SMES. What do you mean? Like, I already have on both sides of the ship a backup power plant. Like, There's this backup power plant right here. And on the other side, I have another backup power plant. So, yeah, no, the Kanite class is actually, in my opinion, quite well designed. Because it has all these faults, or no, backup systems. Like, it's actually, you can destroy it quite a lot. And you can still bring it back online. It's actually designed in a way where let's say, like a chunk of, because there's multiple pathways of the heavy voltage wire. Some of them go, two of double layer go up through the command center, then on either side goes up either side of it. So let's say, for instance, this whole section up here from the command bridge and down the whole, like, chapel, lounge, everything, this whole thing, including arrivals, gets sheared off and it's gone. Now there's a couple of things obviously that happens is all those areas are now gone, and the power that normally runs up this side gets cut off. And actually that's okay, because the middle section is still getting power through these double wires on either side. And if this thing can't get power, cargo can't get power, all you have to do, because I've designed it that way, is these marked areas here where you can see heavy voltage wire that runs here. There's like a path here. All you have to do is just connect this gap with heavy voltage wire, and you will now have this whole section being powered again by the middle section. So you can bring this whole section back online, even though a significant part of the ship is missing. The same thing if, like, let's say the whole thing gets cut in half and it's only the upper section that, like, you know, all the command, everything is gone. Well, doesn't matter. You have two fully functional power plants here you can bring back online. This whole section could work independently, without the lower half. So, anyway, off on a tangent I was. McDuddy Love Train says, I just showed him the middle of this power explanation, and now my mind is imagining a 1950s US government instructional video detailing the features of US salvage cruiser Kanite class. In the event of a major power failure, the ship can be the whole ship can be repowered by applying a heavy voltage wire across this secure or safety gap that is clearly marked with danger stripes. Oh man. I sort of pre-designed it as well to overload its power grid, or rather, in the sense that I designed it up front to make it easy to hotwire the power grid. Because basically all you have to do, because of how I ran the wires, because there used to be an issue where because of how the power system works, you would get a lot of lights flickering, and that would be really, really annoying. And it including computers. Like you would be using the computer, and the power would just flicker briefly, and you would get kicked out of whatever you were doing. This kept happening. So I deliberately found out that one of the ways you could bypass this problem and make it stop happening, even though it was dangerous to do, is that you could hotwire the whole power grid, so it was hooked directly into the heavy voltage wire, instead of coming, as in the engine. Like you see how here, there's heavy voltage wire running from the two engines up here to the SMES. You see how there's an additional wire that runs under the wall here, under the windows, and goes up here to the end. Yeah, the same thing happens on this side that goes all the way from over here. That's because what you can do, instead of having the heavy voltage wire go directly into the SMESs as they're supposed to, and then distribute the power from there, is you can open this catwalk right here, slap in a single heavy voltage wire, which will then, under this computer here, connect that directly into the power grid. That, of course, means that if someone gets electrocuted through a window, or some door or something like that, they're going to get the full engine voltage running through their system, and when they get electrocuted. That's the quote-unquote drawback. But it will make the power stop flickering. Yeah. And I actually left a note in the chief engineer's office in case that this happens, so that he can read it. And it says, "Chief, we've been wrestling with power hiccups across all our installations, and your Kanite class vessels are no exception. Flickering is more annoying than something even more annoying. We've hashed out a fix that's very safe, TM. Stop thinking about what that means. You want to fix that flickering? Your choice. But here's what you do. Head over to the main SMES zone. There's a strip of catwalk you haunt when you're smoking and monitoring this juice. Rip that sucker up. You'll expose the heavy voltage wire beneath it. Hook that straight into all 4 AME units. This ought to stabilize the flickers and light up your life in ways you didn't expect. And just a heads up, if you're not the chief and you're reading this, consider yourself fired. Take a walk to the brick. Do not pass, do not go. Keep it right, do it tight, and nobody has to know how close to the wind we're sailing this ship." Yeah. Which, by the way, means, now that I've read it to you, if you're not the chief engineer, you're fired. So, just saying. I'd have to go to jail. I'm immune because I wrote the note. The ship even has a tiny but still existing emergency air supply. So if for any reason this power supply has gone fucky and needs a quick injection of air, yeah, there's an air bank here where you can, all you need to do is just open this and whoosh air. My favorite thing, I know this is very quickly becoming a tour of my ship, but this is by far still my favorite part of my design is my Papers, Please sort of entrance. Excuse me, I just gotta... No, not really. No. There we go. You arrive here, and you come to here in Arrivals, and it looks, it's a nice Arrivals area. There's a little bar, There are, you know, smokes machine or tobacco machines. You can get your drinks and you can get all kinds of stuff. You can play chess. You can sit here and be in a lounge and be neat. And you can practice things. You can change your clothes. You can go to the bathroom and everything. And it's all neat and nice. The second you take a step in here, they can click a button and the doors close behind you. And now it's papers, please. And if you don't actually measure up, you could be in all kinds of trouble. Isn't it fun? Yeah, this guy in here, he runs your life now for that very brief moment. And he has all the chance of basically once you walk through here, if he makes you, he can then close this door and you're trapped between these two things. And then police officers can walk in here and come out here and get you and pull you off into the nice little interrogation room where there's an interrogator lamp. Interrogator lamp? Interrogator lamp. Anyway, you get what I mean. So yeah. They obviously also get to sit here and watch television because people in this kind of position do. Let's see. Is the choice to have the graph generated behind command doors intentional? Graph generator is not behind the command door in my ship. It's actually right there. Yeah. No command door. And now Medbay, Medbay has a meteor shield and an actual morgue department where it's required that you have a break medic heart suit on because you'll be exposed to space. Hehehe. What are we going to do with this? Could be EVA. Seems very far away though. Seems far away. Still a great profile when it comes to ship shape. I think it would like feel uneasy if this thing came. Like imagine I'm standing still and it's this thing moving up on you. I'd be terrified. It's like a whole station is designed to come for you. Confession of a Latimer asks, does it have an AI core? Yes. It used to. It doesn't have in the deployed version, but the one I'm updating, it does. I recently installed AI in this thing. Now, I grant you, when it comes to how well protected AIs usually are, this is not a very well protected AI. But I've done all that I can with the space that I have. At least I feel that I have. So there are actually many layers of protection here that I hope will, when it adds all up, will amount to a decent defense for its size. I'm pretty sure it will keep out some people. And I've started adding details as well for the AI to appear in different circumstances. Like here at the end of a meeting table, I made a little red thing where it can stand on. Same thing here, it can stand in front of the captain. I made it so it can stand in the bar. It can stand here in the middle of the lounge area in case it wants to make an announcement or sing a song, as it may be. It can appear with a clown. It can appear in the kitchen. All kinds of stuff. So, I still need to put up more cameras. Because if you put on, I think it's AI overlay. Yeah, you can see that there are still parts where you should be able to see, but you cannot. Like Daddy Love Trade says, it's kind of neat to think about this as nano tracing making budget cuts and being unable to build more full purpose built stations and being forced to retrofit old large ships and whatnot to more or less fit the purpose as best they can. Yeah, I mean, Kanite class isn't designed to be a sort of like what we could make, how we could make an old large ship into a fully functional station. But I don't dislike the idea. It is a bit like, here's the budget. You're going to make a salvage ship. And then after that, it becomes a question of bureaucracy. Like, which union is stronger and gets to sort of negotiate in their little piece on the ship or whatnot. Like, it's definitely not designed to be safe or to take good care of you. So I wouldn't be opposed. I like the idea that not only is it a salvage ship, it's basically they got a hold of a large ship and started they did what nanotracing does. They turned it into a station and said, "Okay, it's a station. It moves. Go retrieve old shit so we can get our money back." Like, there's something nice about that idea. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay. This is mostly okay. Arrivals is... there's a blind spot here. There's some blind spots here. Yeah. I still need to do some work with AI. But yeah. Well, we need more research stations after the recent sabotage. What do we have? Well, there's a bunch of mothballed salvage ships. How about that? Good enough! Yeah, it's kind of why it looks salvage is so compact and like it's fitted in here, despite what it's supposed to be designed to do. Why maintenance goes through the artifact room? Because people just crammed in science here because someone said they had to. It's like, fine, we'll make it fit somehow. There's a maintenance tunnel there, and it has to be there by regulation. Well, I guess the artifact room now has a maintenance door, doesn't it? But isn't that safe? That's nowhere in the specifications does it say you cannot connect the artifact room to maintenance. It doesn't say that. Now stop complaining. I'm quite happy with this left side, with this workshop. It fits very well with the theme and everything. But this side is a mystery. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea. And you guys help me think about this. Just vibe for a bit. I'll vibe while I make my tea, and then I'll be back, and then we'll figure this out. Hell yeah. Alright, tea is now brewing. I thought I'd not let you hang the whole session. Let's see now. One of the thoughts I had was that it could be an Atma's intake station. In other words, the place where you take in different kinds of gases you've harvested somewhere. Though that could perhaps be better situated further down. Maybe instead of having these harvesters, I'd find some way of letting someone pump it in. EVA is my best answer so far. That could be funny too. Just have a map that's like really, really full of EVA suits. So someone tries to sneak on board the ship, and they're just for some reason met by a station that's swarming with people puttering around in space. What is this place? Alright. Quickly gonna get my tea. There we go. I now have tea. Jono Grant. Alright. Time to open up Fland. Time to open up Fland. For inspiration. Let's see if we can get something funny out of this. I still think it's funny if it was a library. Like the remotest library ever. It's like this is really one of those post revision sort of like the unions came through. They say we must have a library. I'm just like, what are you talking about? The only thing we have left. The only thing we have left is the maintenance section in the upper prong on the like port side of the ship. Well, do your best. It's like, oh god. Are you serious, Jeffrey? Seriously? Maintenance library? Union says so. McDaddy Love Trade says, Sir, the only people to actually use the library aboard a nanotrade vessel or station in the last 15 years has been cargo. And they just dismantle it for the wood. I don't care. I think it's the only pathway to civilization is through a proper library. Why must have such a thing? Good heavens, man. Get to it. They'll just eat the book, sir. No more of this nonsense. Get to it. It could be an Easter egg, lots of barricades, reinforced vaults with a cloth curtain, and under the curtain is like a corgi balloon or something. So, yeah, a lot of people spend a long time breaking in, and it's gonna be the guys like, there's gonna be a stream about it. It's like, I finally broke in, guys. I spent the time getting this round to getting through to the Kanite secret vault area, and we're finally gonna learn what's inside here, and it's a corgi balloon. Oh no. Gas recycler. What's that? Recycles carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. Why would you do that? Hellfire freezer and Hellfire heater. Passive gate. Just asking, and I'm asking in the aux whether there's a sort of a gas pipe or something that's meant for ships to come around and hook up to it and transfer stuff, because I'm on to the idea slightly of creating some kind of place where an Atmos ship can show up and kind of offload gas, if you will. Probably still do the EVA thing too. Exactly. You mentioned it in the dev chat. I don't remember where it was. I can't find it. One-way air valve that does not require power. I mean, that could be it. see if this guy has anything we want. By the way, if anybody at any point thinks something like, oh my god, he's just blatantly ripping other people off and stealing their stuff. Yes. Do you realize how hard it is to come up with something that makes sense in the first place? Like, I've designed loads and loads of original stuff, and if somebody's already solved this room problem in a smart way, you bet your ass I'm gonna quote-unquote borrow that or steal it. Because why solve a problem that somebody else already solved in a really nice way? In this way, full credit to the individual who designed Flan. You do a very, very aesthetically good job with a lot of things. So kudos to you. I am gonna steal good ideas though. I'm a programmer besides this. Yeah. Steal with pride, as they say. And if nothing else, I'll be inspired. Because lots of cool people have lots of cool ideas. Who would have thought? McDaddy Love Train says, a warehouse of maintenance lockers. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. You come in there, it's just a giant dark room. You get a light put on there, and it's just lockers. Lockers for as long as the eye can see. It's like, what the fuck is this? This is like some weird alternate backroom dimension that I've happened upon. What's going on here? You turn a corner and all of a sudden you realize the room is different and you can't find your way back. Oh man. Oh, that would mess me up. Oh shit. Oh look, they have a little that's what we'll put up in the prong the other side. Yeah, we didn't know what to do, so we put in a pool. See, this is the kind of thing I mean about good design. I like his whole approach. The individual who designed, or the people who designed, if it's a multitude, who designed their medbay, and also the chemistry thing. Because look at what they did with the layout. They have a clear section here that's for a full chemistry station for one person that has all the necessary tools, some beakers, tables, workstation, pill bottles, syringes, latex gloves, bowls, tables, and a little sort of getting into contact with the people outside who shows up for their medication. So this is a little workstation. The second workstation is, well, it's not identical, but it consists at least of the same basic things in terms of equipment. And it's also clearly marked here, and they can put it into this thing into the fridge, and they have a little thing here, and it's clearly marked. And then in addition to all this, they have this general work area with tables and more equipment, all this kind of stuff with their clothing. So I think this is a really well-designed chemistry room. They even have an additional back room, it seems. Chemistry lab here, which I think is cool. Oh yeah, in reference to the being trapped into that warehouse full of locker rooms. Yeah, your McDaddy Love Train says you're forced to subsist on beans, maintenance pieces, mop water, and floor pills. Oh man. Oh man, what a life. My ship doesn't have virology. I could put that in there. Just for no reason, just... where's virology? Oh yeah, it's in the other end of the ship. What? Why? Why is it there? No more room. Yeah, only place we had to put it. Oh my god. Oh, that'd be funny as fuck. There is already a recreation area. It's not much of an area, but it is there. It does technically exist. See? I mean, you can be in this area. I mean, I don't. It doesn't exactly have arcade machines, does it? I'll grant you, but I suppose that's here's a quick edit we'll do. Since we're here, remove this machine and say arcade, random arcade spawner. There. So instead of water, there's an arcade machine. People can play games now. See? Recreation. Bureaucrat satisfied. It's a contractual thing. Like that's a lot of these things. Yeah. No, technically you define entertainment or recreation as including at least one arcade machine. Fine. There's an arcade machine. But that's not what we meant. No, fulfilling the bureaucrat papers. Right there. Oh, fine. That's what I also wanted part of the ship to feel like. Like, definitely, like, some amount of bureaucrats and voting and all that kind of stuff was involved. Like, you can tell that different people negotiated for different parts of the ship. And it's horrible for that reason. And unfortunately, this is also why the kitchen is so compact. The chef was out sick that day, or the union or whatever. So that's why he ended up with such a compact kitchen. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, not a lot of space left. We got." So he basically got the bare minimum. No, you get all the equipment. There's a freezer. It's just tiny. Where would I put the clown? McDaddy Love Train says it's like me building battleships in Ultimate Admirals and only putting one single barrel 9-inch gun because the game forces me to include a primary battery and all I want is 405-inch guns. That's my boy. Just pepper your enemy with irresponsible amounts of small fire. It's like they don't have a lot of big guns, but holy shit, I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, here's an EVA room. Someone said something about this. Oh, docking cup. Oh! I see. This is a custom thing that we have. Aha. It's because we are special. I mean, who really doubted it? Sort of, like, let's face it, we are kind of cool. Just saying. Okay, vibe with this view for a second. I'm just gonna grab some warm water. Okay. We are back. Okay, so that means that I can't do it yet. Since we don't have them yet. At least I don't think so. Nope. Okay. Atmos docking couplers. I guess it could be something science related, but it's just I keep thinking we have everything we need for science. I like this setup. It's like watching, it's like encouraging, that's probably what it is. A fight with a wild alien, something like that inside a pre-built rage cage. I could put that in, I guess. That would be funny. It's like, for some reason that nobody can really understand, just what is in here? Rage cage. Why? Because rage cage. That's why. It's a really nice cage, too. It really is. Like Daddy Love Train says, I love how many stations have maintenance fight rings. I mean, that one is certainly nice. I can't say I've noticed in particular. Oh, look at that. Little maintenance rooms. A little maintenance shop. Nice. I just need a shape. I need a shape that I like. What shape do I like? Ooh, this is a nice bar. I wish I could find more space for mine. Just one tile forward. That's all I would want. Just one push this way. If I sound terrible, it's because I have some kind of throat something. If that wasn't already apparent. Now you know. Yeah, the bar would be so much more comfortable if I could push it forward one bit, but size restraints. Oh, a little stage. That's nice. People could gather for a play. I could make an arcade. It's just a big old arcade. Bonus points if there's trash and soda puddles everywhere. Yeah, that would be good. Oh, this is a shitty pup if there ever was one. Look at this. Look at this fantastic creature of a pub, of a maintenance pub. It is still technically functional, but look at what state it's in. For its actual containment of air, which it's still like holding air, it uses inflatable barriers. It has a roaring fire, loads of damaged decks that could possibly go at any minute, darts, and like a really shitty bar and a place to stand here and everything. And it's just like, it's perfect. Like really, really what the only thing you need to do with this place is break the barriers off and put up a sign. Actually, the sign is already there. And just invite people. No, this is Tony's Fresh Pub. Tony Fresh at his pub. Yeah. Completely safe. A very, very good atmosphere. We have lots of atmosphere. I promise. A nitrogen atmos room for nitrogen breathers or whatever. Oh, what an interesting idea. Like some kind of... This is where all of you, obviously very, very inferior, according to Nanotracin, beings go, but fine, if you insist, you can stay here. Because let's be fair, Nanotracin, they're not above racism. They're straight up not. I think it used to be, it used to be ones that, like, I think lizards were specifically regarded as sort of lower in the overall hierarchy. Like they weren't allowed to be in command positions, which I thought was great. Now, people might say, why do you think racism is great, Hat? It's like, because in this context, in a roleplay context, it gives the whole atmosphere life and character. Like, this is the fictional world. Ridiculous. Like, everything else is ridiculous, so why wouldn't this be too? So it gives you sort of a framework to work out of. And because remember, we're all improv role-playing. And it's all about telling a fun story. Nobody actually is walking around thinking it's super great that, you know, you're being racist. And by the way, it's species. Nobody actually thinks so, but that's just, it's to give the world character, to make it, because of course there's going to be some arbitrary dumbass, you know, shitty perspective on something that just sort of colors the world. It sort of adds that whole I don't know, that kind of bureaucratic but also deeply capitalistic, cruel space backwater shittiness. It's like, it's just, of course they're racist too. Right? That's the way I see it. It's just, it adds character to the world. McDaddy Love Train says, it's like elf hating. We don't actually hate people who play elves, even if they are dirty, evil, conniving knife ears. Exactly. We all know what they're up to. We know. And we reserve the right to be biased against them for that regard. But if you play, I mean, we don't hate you. It's just, when you play that character, we have no reason to trust anything you do. It is true though. It's the same reason nobody likes the Eldar in Warhammer 40k. It's like they always gotta be like cryptic assholes who are out for themselves and to exploit everyone around them. It's like, yeah, of course. Of course you're gonna be cryptic and not giving me a straight answer. Of course you are. but there's something fun about that. I think that makes it fun. That there are people like that. That races are like that. That different species are like that. That they have these what seem completely offensive mode of operation to some of us, because it's like maybe it requires that ability to understand the difference between what's real and what's sort of like a fun collaborative storytelling. Like, of course we all think it's terrible as a real practice, but as a story, if you think of it as a satire where the whole thing is to just make fun of things, or even just as a shitty old space cowboy movie, you know, where it's grimy, people are shits, security and sort of like work safety is sort of like more of a dirty word than it's an actual practice concept. I mean, and all these things, it's just, this is what belongs in that kind of universe. Like it's about telling a funny story, and I'd be just as happy. Like for me, it's about participating and being part of that story. I don't care. It's not like I have a bias in that sense of, would I mind playing the lizard that people are being racist against? No, but that's because that's part of, like, I would tell a story. I would see, like, okay, so if I live in a world where I am, you know, wears a hat or whatever my lizard name would be, wields the axe, like something like this. I don't know. And people, I would like, who would I be in a world where people are, in some sense, they regard me in a negative way? Well, first of all, I'd be probably used to it. Like I would, because this is the world we live in. I probably lived in it for my whole life, or maybe. So it's like, I know that's how a lot of people are. And maybe it means something different to me now, because I can't just run around and feel bad about it all the time. So maybe, I don't know, I'd find some way of shouting back at everybody else, or maybe I'd sort of like just take it as a, oh, hi, how are you? That's what you mean, right? I mean, all kinds of way you can respond to this kind of situation. So, but McDaddy Love Train says, but for real though, to your point, having the whole idea of certain aliens and mutants being treated differently adds life character to it. Yes, exactly. Species are different, and some people don't like that. It opens things up for characters to develop. Precisely. Dude hates lizards until one shift the lizard janitor saves his life and drags him to medbay. Yes, exactly. And then he still thinks they're dirty, but admits they're not all bad. Exactly. The character has just developed. He's just gotten a new layer, and sort of, he's made the first step towards, as they say, it's a redemption story, really. He's making the first step towards undoing that kind of negative bias that he has. He's had a good experience. So in itself, it's a good story. And that should be encouraged. That's how I see it. So, yeah, as far as all that stuff in regards to modern roleplay and SS14 and any other roleplay system, that's how I see it. Everybody else who's sort of getting bent out of shape one way or the other about these things, I don't know, they've either misunderstood, or they have I'm sorry to say, a boring existence. Because what a thing to get bent out of shape over. Like that's how we tell stories. Nobody's perfect. You find flawed people who have messed up views, and you put them in a context in a world where they make sense. You shape this guy, you know, smokes too much, you know, 2 ex-wives, and you know, all it does drugs, whatever he does, it has views about lizards, and you tell a story about this dirty bastard called, you know, I don't know what he'd be called, like Malenko or Maline or Melvin, something. Yeah, Melvin the dirty bastard. So you tell a story about it, and so there's a, you tell a fun story about him, and like he gets to have a, like you said, I'm just repeating what you're saying basically, but it's like I'm trying to also make people understand how this takes place. Like you have to get into this idea of you're telling a story. Like none of these people are real. Like nothing is being endorsed or sort of admitted to, or in some ways, like that's the beauty of telling a collaborative story. You can sort of, there are no limits really, as long as it's a good story. If you turn people off from the whole thing and make people not want to participate, you've told a very bad story. So, but if you told a good story, a fun story, where that even have people sort of disgusted, amused, confused, delighted, excited, along the way, and in general, just having a good experience, then it really doesn't matter that much whatever you do. Like again, it could be that really dirty racist who's the star of the story of the day or something for some inexplicable reason, but he makes some grand step towards redemption, or everybody thinks he's great for some reason. He ends up being a good guy despite of being a flawed weirdo. Or he really is just a dick and nobody wants to deal with him. That could also be an option. But that's what's fun about these sort of things. So, what's my point about all this? My point, as weird as it's, I guess, sounds on its surface, is that I don't mind that people in their roleplay universe have that kind of in-character racism. I think it's perfectly fine, as long as it makes sense and people are enjoying themselves. That's all it takes. It always matters why you do things. It always matters why you, for example, write a fictional character who's a racist. It does matter why you do it. It has to be a fun character. Which is easy. I mean, who's never had good fun experiencing the good old dumbass racist? Like, he's dumb and a racist? Who's not having a great time when you have a stupid guy like that? Who? Sometimes what I'll do, if I can't decide what I want to do with the space, I'll look for a shape or a design on a map that I like and be like, what is this? Why do I like this? And then I'll look it over and then I'll fit it into that space in whatever form I decide to put it in. And that's what I'm doing right now. Excuse me. I'm looking for shapes that I like. Or an aesthetic that I like. The prong is sort of wedge shape, says McDaddy Lovetrain in his infinite wisdom. So clearly, he continues, it needs to be filled with cheese wedges. I'm so glad I spent both time, words, and brain cells expressing those words. Thank you, McDaddy Lovetrain. He says, I am only slightly sorry. I don't know right now. I'll just continue with adding more engines. I gotta make progress. Too much staring and doing nothing. For the moment, until I can think of something else, I shall decorate this by every third we shall have verily a window. You could be right. It could be a storage. Let me just quickly have a look at different EVA designs. Ooh, this is a small, compact design. I like that. The thing is, I've been adding more EVA suits, including in the public areas. So, these are publicly accessible. This one is publicly accessible. I'm planning to make these two also publicly accessible. But I suppose it couldn't hurt to have more. Let me just try and let me just try and fit this one in that I saw here. Let's see. Okay. Let's try this. Let's give this a whirl. And we'll see what we think afterwards. It's gonna be wild. Fasten your seatbelts, kids. Here we go. Just measuring. I may have made a little whoopsie, but that's okay. We can fix that. I kept wondering why it didn't add up. What am I doing? Hold on. It needs to be with wall 4 deep. And it's 3 deep here. This doesn't seem to be working. It's a 4 by 5 square. How the hell did I mess up? I'm probably really tired, that's why. Let's see. Five. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, presumably, potentially, conceivably, likely, probably, five wide. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, I think. Wait, I'm doing it right. Yeah. Wow, I am just all over the place because this is correct. I have to consider what to do with that space afterwards. Pardon. It normally calls for a different design, but I have my own approach to this. Storage. What's EVA? What kind of suits should we give? Should they be salvage suits? Or should they just be basic hard suits? Alright. This is what you get for attending the stream. You get influence. Basic hard suit it is. Can we get, Haslin asks, can we get distro vent and waste scrubber in Atmos? What? Are you joking? Are you saying you don't have it? Haslin? Haslin, how dare you point out that there is no scrubber or air vent in Atmos? Why did you say that? To realize how much my feelings are hurt now? For you being, I mean, how can you be so correct? That's just... Wow. Like, I heard you point out that the obvious with, like, I heard that with my ears, or I read that with my eyes, and processed it with my brain. My innocent brain, Haslin. Anyway, honestly, I think at some point I contrived to believe that Atmos, because of how they always are in toxic gases, they don't really need this stuff, I think. And so I never put it in, but on further reflection, I'm kind of like, that doesn't really make much sense, does it, though? Does it? How upset would you be if I pulled, like, the air vent from here to, like, here, I guess? So that the air vent would be here, right here onto the AI. And the scrubber, I would probably pull from this door, maybe? Because it's really hard to find a spot here. Maybe pull it from this door and put it like here and have the scrubber like here. If you look at the door to the hallway on the left, you can bring distro in through that door and the door next to the burn chamber for waste. Okay, so all right, so you want to pull in waste or scrubber here, so I'm guessing it sits like here. like where I'm sitting right now. And then air could be pulled in from here and have it sit like, I don't know, here or here. The other way around, reason I wanted to is so the air was more centered in the room. That's why I wanted to pull it from up here, so that way it would sort of sit more in the middle, and the scrubber wouldn't be that far away. But I mean, I guess air could be over here too. I don't think that makes much difference. It's just that the air filling rate, or how it works, it feels more uneven, but it'll still fill. So I mean, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. You shall now have your wish immortalized. T-Junction, baby. Oh yeah, here we go. Doing green shift right now. Oh yeah, baby. I'm so glad. Genuinely, I'm so happy you guys enjoy Kanite. It pleases me to no end. I'm so humbled and pleased that you guys have fun with it. Alright. That's the scrubber. I ran a map vote last night and 10 green sisters voted for it. Aww. Alright, let's see. Here we go. T-Junction, baby. And here she comes. Alright, you get to choose. Is the air vent on this row? Like over this here? Or is that the bottom sitting next to this one? Like, which square will the air vent actually sit on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under the light too? Alright. It shall be a genuine Haslin feedback to the architects made to life. Yours shall be the one. There you go. And then we're going to link it up to a beautiful little thing. Multi-tool. There we go. Should we put in... Do you think we should put in some fire doors or something like slam shut if shit goes to shit down here? Do you ever run foul of those? Like, do you ever find yourself thinking there should be fire doors or fire locks? Nah, Atmos never catches on fire. Can I take that as sarcasm? At least I currently am. Alright. Let's put in some fire locks then. There we are. 5 shiny new fire locks. One of the last things I'm going to have to remember to do is use that command that colors the whole Atmos network. I just can't remember it right now. Right. Anything else? Like, did I get you right for Atmos? Air alarm? Well, there's one right there. Right? Alright, now we have a very remote and strangely placed EVA room. I have no idea why on earth it would be here. But now it's here. I'm not even sure I can justify this, but yeah. That's just the dumbest thing ever. Where's your EVA room that everybody has to get to very quickly in case there's an emergency? Oh, that thing. Yeah. No, it's some far away furthest point in some very flimsy prong at the outer reach of the ship. Oh. So you mean like not somewhere centered? Right. That's what I mean. My intuition tells me that I need more thinking on this ship and on this prong. So, and it's been coming up on 3 hours. It's back. I just hit 3 hours. So I'm going to say save map 50 Kanite class. That means we've now also immortalized and changes to Atmos. And what we've done here now, we've made some preparatory work as well for getting started. Provoked a bit of creativity, done something with the space so far, and we'll see what else we can do with it. But not much actual progress was made this time, but that's okay. Good thoughts were had, and this is usually one of the things that has to happen before something truly brilliant takes place. So, I am going to call it here and say thank you for being with me here on this stream, on this little mapping adventure with me for a little while. And yeah, I'll see you next time, and be excellent to each other. See ya, guys.